Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
Liberty Mutual customizing. Am I one of those Liberty Mutual people where they stand in front of the Statue of Liberty?
Hello, everyone in the chat who's showing up. Orlando, Jaramillo, Darian Muslow, probably saying everyone's name wrong.
Thanksgiving, you can count on us. You get up high quality with our exclusive brand.
What's up, Wesley? How you doing, man? Working on your art when you can. I guess that's all any of us can do, right? Just do it when we can, where we can. You drew all the Inktober prompts? That's awesome. I have literally never done that. I kind of struggled with, like, everyone does it and all my friends are doing it. I should try it. But then I was like, you know, whenever I get the opportunity to draw, I just want to be able to draw what I want when I'm ready to. And I kind of just felt like this pressure, like, I got to do this thing. And they're asking me to draw something I don't want to, but I have to because it's Inktober. And I'm like, why am I fighting myself over this? I don't want to do this. So just don't, and who cares? It's this dumb little kind of cathartic moment of like, I don't have to do this if I don't want to. I do see kind of the artistic opportunity to push and try something different and make something kind of awesome, you know, get out of your comfort zone. I get it. But for me, I'm just like, if I could sit down and draw, I got to work on something I'm excited to do, not like find a way to push through it. So I never bothered. Yeah, it's a drawing exercise. Yeah, and I totally agree. Like, I get it. Wesley, you got the elementals drawing out now. Been wanting to ink it, but want to save the original pencil. I get that. I've done stuff in pencil that I'm like, I don't want to like screw up the pencils, for lack of a better term. I have been in that position many times. Mr. Mello, Art of the Round Table. How are you, man? Still cranking away at art every day, all day, I see. It's our lifeblood. It is. Like, that is no joke, sir. I was talking with a friend of mine at work today, this gal that I work with, like, usually all day, every day. It's just me and her kind of trapped in this one area for the majority of our shift. And we talk about how our job is just kind of like, you know, it's not fulfilling, but it's a job. It pays the bills. But we find enjoyment and fulfillment in things outside of work. And, you know, it's not my job that defines me. You know, it's my drawing and my art and my YouTube channel that has made some personal and professional connections, that has started to really push my kind of creativity into the most interesting and, for lack of a better word, successful than it's ever been. And oh, I hate these commercials. I'm so sick of Liberty Mutual insurance commercials. But anyway, you know, this is where I kind of find the stuff that gives me the drive to kind of keep going. You know, it's not because of my job. It's this art and the creative stuff that I get to devote a bunch of time to. It's not something that I just do, it's who I am. A comic artist. An ex-girlfriend told me that one time. She says, a comic artist is what you are. She's like, you may not be doing it professionally, but it's what you are, even if it's not your job. She's like, that's what you are. That's who you are. It's a comic artist. And I was like, it stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, you know what? Even she sees it. She recognizes it. And I was like, I'm just a whatever. She's like, no. We all have to do what we have to do. But she was like, that's what you are, even if it's not your profession. I was like, you know what? You just validated me. That was right at the tail end of my divorce, and I was separated, and I kind of made contact with this ex-girlfriend, and that was very, very important to me years ago, and we've remained friends. And I was kind of telling her my lack of self-value at the time, and how I felt useless and pointless, and my art means nothing, and I'm not doing anything with it. And she's like, yeah, that's what you are. You're a comic artist. And it helped me. It helped me feel like it's okay to be what I am, and it is what I am, even if it doesn't pay the bills. And I don't know why, but that just really, really helped me in that moment. It was kind of a divine intervention kind of statement. So, I don't know. I've never forgot it.
tried multiple oral antidepressants.
No, this is one of my fake pinups for the inside of my book. Fake meaning it's like an advertisement for a comic that's never going to exist. I'm constructing this book to read a lot like a regular comic where you're reading through it and there's ads for forthcoming books. Like there's going to be a letters page in the back and, you know, things like Stan's soapbox, like you'd always see in old Marvel comics. I'm just going to add a bunch of nonsense like that. But there's going to be a bunch of ads for comics, like upcoming books. Like for anybody who read Image Comics back in the day, if you're like reading a Wildstorm or a Top Cow book, there was always an ad for coming soon, June of '93. So and so and so and so are this, you know, and so I've just got all these ridiculous ideas, joke things, funny things that I'm like, this would be funny to have in there. So this is one of them. These are characters like, I have a lot of time at my job periodically to kind of like just get lost in thought. And I just come up with these stupid ideas and it makes me laugh. I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be funny if? I'm like, well, why not just throw them in the book as like a fake, like this is never going to happen, but it's just for a gag. And so it's more of like I just come up with this phrase. I'm like, oh, that's stupid. It's so funny. I should do that. So, but there's also at the same time going to be ads for books that will exist. Like I got a buddy who's working on a book and he's going to have an ad in there for his thing. Depending, my brother should have an ad for his comic series in there. So there's going to be stuff that these are real. I'm going to have to find some way to differentiate them and to be like, these ones are fake, but these ones are real. But I've got at least 3 joke ads. And this is the second one drawn. I've got another one I need to draw. But then I kind of get thinking, like, what if I also, I mean, depending on time and how things go, I also come up with sometimes back in the day, back in the heyday of the 90s, you could get like a preview comic where it's like there's 4 or 5 pages of multiple books. So I'm like, what if I took these joke concepts, these stupid ideas, and did 4 or 5 pages, or even 2 or 3, you know, it just depends, of actual pages to get the chance to kind of draw them and drive the stupid jokes home even more, and then have those in like a separate preview book. I'm like, oh, that might be a thing that I do. We'll see. That's not impossible. It might be more of a, like the book that I'm putting together, OK Comics, referring to you. It's kind of, the book I'm doing is kind of a catch-all for all my 90s nonsense. And I could kind of put anybody or anything. So I would probably not do like a separate title, but like an actual, it's just have the characters show up or something, or even do like a flip book kind of thing or something like that where there's just a second story with those characters in it. But I mean, the demand would have to be for like a joke ad in my stupid comic. I don't imagine that I'd get that much of a like, oh my God, we need this. In Fantasyland, where my brain exists all the time, my crowdfunder does really successful, and it gets a lot of wide-known recognition, and people like my stuff, and suddenly I'm successful, and so I hire other people to make these books. I've literally had that fantasy scenario cross my mind about 1 billion times throughout my life. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if, you know, I have somebody else draw up these stories of these 2 characters who are called the assholes. This is Stink Shoot and this is Brown Star. And then, of course, I've got, where's she at? The other ad. Here she is. This is my 90s bad girl ad for, another book. Spread Eagle. I think you guys might have seen this one. I was working on this image. It's all about the joke. And I've got an awesome tagline for this and everything, like the text, with the fake release date. So maybe I'll draw up a 2 or 3 page gag of Spread Eagle and the assholes. Oh my God, shut the fuck up, YouTube commercials. I could hire my own Marat Michaels. That's funny. Maybe. But again, I mean, who doesn't sit around and kind of imagine, what would you do if? What if this was successful? Or what if that happened? What would you do if you won the lottery and you had like millions of dollars in your name? What would you do? What would your life suddenly look like? How quickly do you walk into your current job and just drop your pants and shit on your boss's desk? But since all of that's never going to happen, I'll just sit here and make my little comics, get them out to whatever audience kind of finds interest in them, and just have fun while we can. Make what we can while we can, while we're still physically capable and able, before the world decides to eat itself and go to hell. I mean, it's already kind of there, but yeah, make the best of it while we can. That's exactly it. Who knows when suddenly life will throw something at you and you're like, oh, well, I can't do that ever again, or for a long time, or I had to put my entire art aside for like a year when I was going through my divorce, just trying to keep my marriage together and try to make everything work out the way that it could. And it was all for nothing. So now I'm like, ugh, never again. No one's ever going to tell me I can't make what I want. Although I did come up with I have another gag ad for a book that will never exist, but it runs the risk of being kind of offensive depending on your sense of humor. And I'm kind of nervous to do it because it's just a joke. It's a play on words, and everyone that I've told it to laughs, and they think that's brilliant. You should totally do that. But I'm like, ugh. I hate to sound like a chicken shit, but I'm like, I don't know if I could get away with it, especially in this kind of political climate where everyone's so sensitive and like, you can't do that. It's not okay. Who do you think you are? And that kind of just personally makes me want to just do it even more. I'm like, oh, you're going to tell me I can't? Well, now I'm really going to. But then suddenly all my tough talk fades away. And I'm like, ugh, what if I really do the wrong thing? Son of a fuck. I dropped my pen and it disappeared. Where the f- Oh, there it is. Anybody see that Liefeld put out a request on his Twitter looking for new and fresh artists to produce new Youngblood covers? Guess who threw his art up on his Twitter page? This guy. Can you even imagine if for some reason he's like, dude, I like your shit? I'm like, oh God, what do I do now? Oh, I 100% did. I'm no joke. He just had his, just this post on X, and he's literally saying like, looking for fresh new voices, etc., etc. So, and I don't ever use. I have an X account, but I never use it. I just use it to kind of look at things, but I don't ever post ever, because who cares? But I like, all right, so, and I guess you can only ever link 4 images at a time. So I chose 4 images that I think were kind of some of my best looking current stuff I've shown here often, and I put it in the thread. I'm like, well, why not give it a shot? Let's see. And then, like I said, can you imagine like if he hit me up and said something like, I by no means do I think I'm that good, like where he'll be interested in anything I do. I don't think he ever would. I'm okay, but just whatever. But just imagine if he did. Like, what? Oh shit. I guess I would 100% go along with it, and I'd be nice. I mean, there's no reason to not be. You know, I'm not here because I know I make content about Liefeld stuff that's pretty brutal, but I'm just talking about his art. But the instant he finds out about that, it would be over. But I would just go for it and just be like, oh, all right, well, you know. Because honestly, if he would make a stink about it publicly, it could only hurt me. Or rather, it could only help me. He's got nothing to threaten me with. But he could only help my content, my YouTube channel. So, we'll see, right? My cover should max out the number of feet ever on a cover. Draw the entire Youngblood team, but go out of my way to make sure each character's feet are completely visible. Did you see that cover? There's never been a Youngblood cover with so many feet on there. It's actually really funny. So I'll keep y'all in the loop when, you know, like I said, I'm not stupid. Nothing's going to happen. You know, what are the chances of that? It's not impossible. It's not zero. You know, I think that I'm not embarrassed to show my art. But who would be embarrassed to show their art? I mean, even if it's terrible, most people who would share their stuff are like, this is the best I do, and why not? Like, here's what I do. But, yeah. It's just, oh my God, I just couldn't imagine if he, for some reason, hit me up and like, damn, bro, I like the cut of your jib. I'm like, oh, let's see how long until someone says that motherfucker makes content on his YouTube channel making fun of you all the time. God damn it. He is a legend. I just wish he was humble. Maybe a little bit self-aware. But he's making his nut. So who am I to criticize, right? Daniel G, he should. I feel like Eric Larson would grab onto him more than Liefeld would. You're right. His stuff is eye-catching, even though it's weird. You're 100% right. And I think he should try and put his stuff out there. I would 100% support that. But I feel like, I don't know why. I just look at his stuff and I see like Larson digging it more than Liefeld. But I could be wrong. I don't know. That guy is one talented kid. And you know, I like that the video I did of his work got decent views. I'm pretty sure it helped him move at least a couple of books. And so that, you know, it makes it satisfying, and it's nice to kind of know that it maybe helped the guy. Professional inker here. Yeah, you need to watch that one. I was about to say, yeah, it's a good video, but then that sounds really like pretentious and self-serving on my part. It's an awesome video. Whoever made it is a badass. That makes me sound like a douche. But what I mean is, when I say it's an awesome one, I mean the guy I'm focusing on he deserves the recognition, which was the point of the video. Now I sound like Rob. Boom, roasted. I draw wonky. Mr. Ginger Bear. The book, the video's only maybe a week old. It's called Hot Voltage. You should be able to find it. It's just a black and white book for Daniel Gonzalez on my channel. You don't have to scroll very far back to find that one. And put a link to his social medias in there so anybody can... You're back on overtime. Damn, my dude. Is this for like another, 2/3 of the forthcoming year, or is it for a more limited time? I never have to worry about overtime because my job doesn't allow it. And if you get any, they're up your ass instantly. You got to cut that overtime. We don't allow that shit here. Just till mid-December? Okay. You like the poses on this page? Well, thanks, man. I've been trying to crack this one for a minute, and this is kind of the... I'm satisfied. This will be an ad, like I was just telling the other guys. It's one of those fake ads for the book.
build the neck. Get bigger.
I'm getting just microscopic ink smudges all over the place. No, the current things I'm using for the finer lines, I'm using a Micron. And then I was digging through my art supplies, and I had a couple of packages of these Faber-Castell Pitt pens, which I like, but only for a little while. They don't keep their juicy, awesome line work for very long. But I had several in packages, so I'm like, just bust them open and use them up until they become useless, and then I'll get rid of them. So that's what all these were. And then these big, thick lines down here. It's just... Yeah. Then there's this pack of pens. It's Pigma Sakura. It's a pack that comes in 3, and it's got this big, fat, beefy kind of fat tip, which I thought would be the most useless one in the pack, because it comes with like a medium felt tip and then a fine felt tip. 3 pens in one pack. But I found that this beefy tipped one is like the most fun and the most useful. And yeah, Ginger Bear, I should only be using, Pentel Pocket Brush. I was asking Liam Sharp, the artist, on his Facebook page. I'm like, what do you use to ink with? And he said he only uses Pentel Pocket Pen. He said that's it. And then he does say, I think he said microns to do some fine line stuff, but all that lush, beautiful art that he does, he just used a Pentel Pocket Pen. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, Ginger Bear, Pitt pens are great, but they dry up so fast. Yeah, I'm not going to buy them anymore, but I have like 2 more full packages of these things that I bought, because I just go to the art store and just buy them and just have them so I don't ever run out. So I'm like, well, now I got to burn them up. So, but yeah, they work great right out of the package, but then there's always ink coming out of the felt tip pen, but it's not that thick, juicy ink line. It's just, it sucks a fat nut. Just like your mom. Not anybody in particular, but, The art store was always out of stock. That would suck. Like, I'm here to buy tools. What the fuck? this party sucks. I also say that about work too. Yeah. Right. Does anybody find themselves holding their breath whenever they have like a wet medium on a board and they're putting it down with a brush? Like you're trying to hold your breath to steady your hand. Is that a thing that happens with anybody else? Ginger, you got Daniel's book in the mail yesterday. He's good, right? Like, I was gonna say sometimes I get worried that I oversell it and trying to like, this guy's work is amazing, and have other people be like, what the fuck are you talking about? That sucks. But I'm like, I know, I've been around enough and seen enough artwork where I know something's good. I just like seeing other people really enjoy his crazy stuff. And that's awesome that he was on your live stream, like you guys were drawing together. That is awesome. I didn't know he was doing that. Or do you mean he just stopped in to talk? I mean, were you guys live streaming together? Yeah, Wesley, this is a Bristol board. Yes, absolutely. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, sorry, I jumped to conclusions, but yeah. Yeah, he should. Yeah, he's such a damn young guy, and he's so good. I think I was saying in the video, I'm like, he's got talent and skill. Like if he wanted to, if he's interested, he could, if he would start a channel or something, you know, just keep building up his social media, live stream his art. I don't know. I feel like he's got that it factor, whatever that indefinable quality might be. He's got it. Gee, you hate how young he is. Adam, you find yourself deflated by inking panel borders and word balloons. I don't do word balloons because I don't put them on the page, so I don't have to suffer through that. But panel borders, I've found a way to kind of just be fine with it. I kind of end up just looking at it as like it's just part of the art. And once I start putting in those borders and squaring them off and getting hard defined black lines, breaking up the borders, I'm like, okay, the page is coming together. You know, it's certainly not the funnest thing, but I found a way to kind of do it. And also, it doesn't take that long, really, at least for what I do. The panel borders doesn't take that long. You know, 15, 20 minutes to just rule out a border on a page. But yeah, it's anxious to get to the fun stuff. You'll get a panel border crooked and want to give up. You know what? No matter how, like, when I do my panel borders, I use my ruler. I use this one where it's got the right angle on it. And then I just always have it, you know, at the bottom of the page on the lip of the desk here. And I just use that, right? And just keep the paper on the edge and this thing, and then I'll flip it over. But no matter how perfect I am, whenever I get on the computer, the borders are always slightly crooked. So most of the time I'm redrawing them to some degree on the computer after the fact anyway. And on my He-Man fan comic, there were a couple of pages where I didn't bother inking the borders because I just knew once I got them on the computer in Photoshop, I'm just going to redraw them anyway. Because to the naked eye, they look straight, but once I get in there and start measuring it out, it's just slightly crooked. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to straighten it out. I don't freaking care. Wesley, you're asking what size is this Bristol board? This is 11 by 14. You know, obviously comic art's usually done on 11 by 17. But I had a tablet of 11 by 14, and this was the last page that was in there. So I just grabbed it and just for the use of this drawing. Because I'm going to put it in the book, but there will be a bigger border. The top of the drawing is not going to be this close to the top of the paper. It's going to extend 3 more inches. But I can just make it work just using this board. Well, yeah, I mean, I have to scan the stuff in, and then I have to, you know, adjust the values to make the blacks super black and the white, you know, pristine white. And then there's always some ink splatter or screw up. No matter how clean I try to keep my art on the board, there's always some. So I'm in there cleaning it up, and but then I kind of use the basic tools to kind of like, how straight are the borders as compared to how the computer's got the you know, the art in there scanned. And it's always, even if it's just microscopic, it's no matter how precise I try to be, it's always crooked. So I just straighten it out. I don't do much. I'm not good on the computer or Photoshop. I don't know how to do any of the tricks. I know how to do like 1 or 2 of the tricks, but when Photoshop has 10 million tricks, I'm essentially like an idiot. I can't do anything, but I know the very, very basics. I try to just keep everything as just done by hand as possible. Yeah, T-rulers. Yeah, T-rulers are great for panel borders. Yes, sir. I know that if I drew digitally, I'd be done with this drawing already, because I could just fill in the blacks with the fill tool. But I like having my art on paper.
car insurance. Save people hundreds.
Yes, sir, Ginger Bear. I've always thought it had a pretty epic score. Such a ridiculously awesome movie. Like the concept of these giant killer bugs just slaughtering soldiers. It's almost like a B movie, but done with a great budget. Is Paul Verhoeven still alive? Paul Doris had no chill. Your girlfriend said Alien Earth is good. You haven't seen it yet. Predator Badlands looks awesome. I have seen Predator Badlands twice. I went because I kind of needed something to do for the day. And from what I'd heard, it looked, it's a PG Predator movie. So I kind of was thinking about taking my kids to it. So I wanted to go see it first. And I watched it and I was like, okay, yeah, I can bring my kids to this. And my boys, loved it. They were super into it. It's an okay Predator movie. It's not a great Predator movie. It's like a Disney Predator movie. It has moments where it comes across as pretty badass, and there's some good action and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if it was a great idea to have the Predators speak and hear them have conversations throughout the entire movie. It runs the risk of ruining the mystique. But it was a very bloodless flick because you have predators, robots, and then alien creatures on a distant alien world. So if you really liked the very serious, grim and gritty nature of the original, the first two Predator movies, you get none of that here because no one's getting their spines ripped out and horrific scenes of, people getting skinned and stuff like that. It just doesn't exist. Not in this version. But it was okay. I didn't feel like it was a waste of my time. Mr. Pritchard. And Aliens, Earth or whatever, I was sort of interested, and I know this kind of instantly, and I admit, it negates my opinion. But I listened to some reviews of it, and I'm like, I'm not interested. They had the alien running around like a pet dog to some of these kids or something like that, like in broad daylight, like it's their friend. I'm like, ugh. If what I was seeing was right, I'm like, I'm just not. I hate seeing all these awesome franchises get neutered. No spines, no C. See, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I have a Predator question for anybody who's reasonably intimately familiar with the original. I saw somebody say something to the effect of, in the original Predator, we all remember Billy. Remember when he stopped on that log and he decided he was done running and he was going to face whatever this thing is? And of course, he instantly lost. But the next time you see the Predator is he was ripping out the spine of Billy. And somebody was saying that the Predator specifically took his head and spine as a trophy because he was the first person to stand and fight him, to stand and face it rather than just get slaughtered indiscriminately. And so it was kind of a respect thing, for lack of a better term, where the Predator was like, all right, this guy stood his ground to fight me. Of course, he didn't get anywhere. But because of that, he took Billy's head and as a trophy. Has anybody heard that and think that there's any, reality to that? Does that make sense? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but I can also see it just being people watching the movie for years and they just start filling in the gaps with their own kind of opinions on the lore. It was just like the filmmakers just decided to just at that time show the Predator do that thing. But it was never in the script The predator respects Billy, so that's why he took his skull. Okay, comics. Yeah, you never heard that, but it does kind of check out. It does kind of like, all right, I can see that. Yeah, I agree. Someone's saying, what is up, man? Patrick Pierce. Hello. Same old thing. You think that they didn't want to show everything that the Predator does with the bodies? Could be. Like, we never got to actually watch him skinning anybody, which, I gotta be honest, I don't know that I want to see that. I'm kind of fine seeing the aftermath as opposed to actually watching the Yautja actually ripping the flesh off a human being. Could be fun. That's kind of exactly what he looks like, yes. He's a black guy. His name is Brown Star. He's a ninja. He's part of the team called the Assholes. It's Brown Star and Stink Shoot. So the star is, I mean, he's supposed to be a ninja, and no ninja would actually have a star on his chest. I get it. I acknowledge that. But it's a comic book, and it's just a single joke, gag, pinup in a book, so it's not like it's going to have to, like, stand scrutiny. Best name ever. And see, Stink Shoot, again, they're the assholes, so it's obviously a whole, you know, juvenile booty pipe humor, but he's got a skunk theme, black with the white stripe, but he shoots guns. Stink Shoot, get it? It works multiple ways. There's multiple dimensions to Rob's humor. Oh, Pritchard, that's hilarious, dude. Talking about the Predator, and they should, it would be hilarious if they did that as an opening sequence of the movie while the pre-credits roll super close, veins aplenty, and the camera pans out at someone skinning a plum. Dude, that's funny. You should be able to watch the live. Sometimes someone's saying I'll like reduce the YouTube or the app, and sometimes it'll close out the video and I have to go back into it and just try it again to get it to go into the mini player. It should work. Just might have to fart around with it a little bit. I mean, you shouldn't have to, but it's glitchy-ish. Yeah, that's a funny thing, Mr. Pritchard. You think that we're skinning something. Have really dramatic music. It's ripping. There's like gross organic sound effects. People are like, this is disgusting. What are they doing? And it's just a vegetable. We were so scared for a minute. Yeah, okay, comics. Kind of like the transition of cutting a rare straight steak in Dracula. I know exactly the scene you're talking about. That's a great comparison. Yep. That's funny. Last movie I saw in theaters. Well, just talking about it. Predator, Badlands. I might take my kids to see the new fucking stupid Avatar movie. I know I'm going to go at least once to see Avatar Fire and Pissing in the Flame or whatever it's called. I think they might actually get a kick out of it with the visuals, and they have to do the whole 3D thing. And, well, don't have to, but we'll see. What franchise is better, Aliens or Predator, considering all their movies? To me, it's equal because there's only 2 good ones in each of them anyway. First Predator, second Predator, first Aliens, second Aliens, and that's where it ends. So they're literally 50-50. I would personally rather see more good Predator movies because the Predators are thinking creatures, so there's a little bit more possibility for interesting stories with the creature that thinks and talks and has space travel and a culture. The Xenomorphs are just killing lizards or bugs or whatever, you know, so they're kind of limited in that. I think they show up and they just slaughter indiscriminately for no reason, nonstop. Thanks, Wesley. Thanks for stopping in, sir. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the new Alien stuff. Whatever that last Alien movie was, even my brother, who's a lot more discerning than I am, he's like, he was like, it wasn't that good. It started out good, but then it got shitty. And then we were talking about the TV show, and I was like, I'm out. I'm just not. I don't know. Yeah, okay, comics. In theory, you can tell more varied stories with the Predator. The only place you can take the story after Cameron's Aliens is basically Starship Troopers. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with the Xenomorphs. They're just non-thinking, mindless killing machines. And so you have to, like, you can come up with some interesting characters, but then what do you do besides they're just facing the incessantly non-stop killing bugs? Like, how do you make that a consistently interesting thing? I find that to be probably hard. But like I was saying, and like I think you're alluding to as well, like the Predators being thinking, living beings with culture and language and space travel, you know. There's substance behind them, which allows for more interesting stuff, at least as far as I'm concerned. But that being said, they still kind of keep screwing it up. Yeah, someone saying you're saying that the TV series didn't do anything for you. Yeah, I mean, again, I know my opinion is completely invalid because I haven't watched it, so I'm only going off other people's opinions, and that's kind of, just completely invalidates my own because I don't have one. But based on what I've heard, I'm like, no, I'm not interested. I don't need to waste my time. But again, if like I don't know, I have to assume a lot of us fantasize in our heads. Like if I was given creative control over said thing, what would I do with said thing? And if I was given some kind of like showrunner creative control, what would I do with the Aliens franchise? I'm like nothing. There's nothing to do with it. It was just a monster movie. And James Cameron took it to its, best kind of sequel possibility. So what do you do? I don't know.
Soon we'll be telling the whole state how Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance to save people hundreds.
Bride of Alien. Okay, here's one thought that I've had about what I would do with the Alien franchise. One of the only interesting, not the only interesting, but like the xenomorphs, right? Like we were just saying, or I was saying, because I'm the only one with the actual voice. Like the aliens are not really interesting, the xenomorphs, because they're just killing bugs. But one of the interesting ideas about them is that a face hugger will implant a whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. It'll put an alien inside someone, but then the creature that comes out takes on the physical characteristics and traits of the creature that it's in. So if you put a xenomorph inside a human, you're going to get like a upright kind of humanoid shaped one. And like in that third Aliens movie, it got into a dog. So it's running around on all fours like a dog. So I'm like, well, let's just run with that. Like I remember seeing some fan art where a face hugger jumped onto a Tyrannosaurus Rex and there's a fucking xenomorph T-Rex running around. Like the size of and the shape of, but has like the alien queen head and the spiny tail. What if the face hugger jumped on to like an elephant or just any number of weird creature? What if it jumped on and somehow put an alien inside like a vulture so it flies around? Like let's make some fucked up genetic crossbreeding, because the xenomorphs don't all come out the same. We've just seen that because they seem to only, stick with humans, so they all kind of look the same. But let's make some fucked up xenomorphs, man. How about an alligator? I mean, just to make some monstrous alterations to a familiar concept. That's the only thing I've ever thought of that would be like, all right, that would be kind of cool. Of course, then people be like, hey, what if they crossed it over with the Predator? That could be cool, but then they did it and, really screwed that version up. And then the son of Alien and Alien goes to New York. Yeah, okay, comics like the Gorilla Alien and the Cobra Alien. See, I didn't know about toy lines like that, but there you go. How about something like that? How about like a xenomorph spider? I don't know how you could get that done with spiders being so small, but like, we all get the idea.
From James R. Books comes the perfect holiday comedy about an imperfect family.
Oh, are you trying to be responsible?
Got a compositional fuck up here that I'm not sure how to fix. If my name was Rob Liefeld, I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't even need to be concerned. Juggernaut, I don't have an opinion on that one. I've never dedicated enough thought to care. I just always assumed the alien was just there around them and they just were not trusting each other and they just sat there and froze to death and died the end. But I'm not really concerned about, like, weren't they? I don't know. I was like, I don't care. But yeah, I've got my guy here, Stink Shoot. Got his leg coming behind Brown Star here. But if I don't draw in something, it looks like I just didn't finish drawing his leg. But if I kind of continue a line for his leg, it kind of looks like I'm drawing part of his body, and it would kind of screw it up. So I'm kind of not sure how to solve this conundrum. I shouldn't have placed it there like that, but I did. Excuse me. You mean like have his leg like upwards like this? Oh, God, I got fucking just gesturing like that. I put a smudge on my paper. God, I gotta. Yeah, I'm not sure what the best option is here. I know. I kind of. Well, like I was saying on my most recent Liefeld video, when in doubt, just don't do it. Don't do it. No, I know, but that I see it. That would be kind of funny. Look like he's dancing. People don't know what they're getting into with this comic. It's all about, interpretive dance and musicals. Put a cloud of smoke in between them and call it a day. You know what? I am guilty of that. I have done exactly that. I am not going to say like I am better. That's funny. A wisp of smoke, some debris, a cloud. It's fine. Kind of put some smoke through here, some dust. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Put a giant Teletubby in the midst of the background with snarly teeth. Yeah, that would be a close hit for Brown Star. Yeah, didn't I tell you, Ginger Bear? These guys are the assholes. It's Stink Shoot and Brown Star. Brown Star's the black guy. He's a ninja. Stink Shoot has a skunk theme and guns. but they are the assholes. Written by Rob Norton, illustrated by someone sane. Yeah, it's just another one of those joke ads going in the book to go along with Spread Eagle. I was telling the guys, I have another one that I'm kind of, I think is funny, but it has the potential to be kind of, it uses some language, like a play on words that could be kind of offensive to certain people. It's all just a gag, it's a joke. But I'm worried that people will take it the wrong way and be like, you can't say that. So I'm kind of nervous to put it in there, so I don't know. Guess as I get closer to the completion of the book, we'll see if I grow some balls or decide to play it safe and not ruffle feathers. All right, I'll tell you guys the gag, and I did run it by somebody who thought it was hilarious, and this is someone who could get the sign off on it, but he's like, but you know, people are so sensitive these days. All right, here's the joke. Again, it's just a joke ad. The picture is going to be a big 6 foot tall, like bodybuilder size, like Schwarzenegger sized black guy. He's big, he's strong, he's handsome, he's the hero. His name is Nicholas. He's an archaeologist, kind of like an Indiana Jones. So he digs up things. So, you know, he's an adventurer. He kicks ass. He's handsome. He's charming. Big guy. Big, strong, muscular guy. And he digs up things. His name is Nicholas. So the book is called Big Digger Nick. Big Digger Nick. Ginger Bear. That's like horrible bosses too. Their company was called Nick Kurt Dale. I just kind of come up, I don't know how it popped into my head. I was watching some movie and somebody said something about, you know, sizes of appendages and shit like that, and somebody said that, and I ran it by. Yeah, it does. Yeah, see, I ran it by a black guy, and he's like, dude, that's hilarious. He's like, but you and I are the same age. We come from the same kind of era. And he's like, I find it hilarious. And most guys I know would find it hilarious. But I don't know. Some people might not. And he's like, I don't know if you want to risk kind of like hurting your brand. I'm like, yeah, I get it. You know, I thought about asking, I kind of ran it by him. Well, what if I listed you as the writer, you know, him, the black guy? And I was like, and then I could put underneath your name, I could put in parentheses, he's black, so it makes it okay. Like it deflates it. And he kind of laughed at that. So I don't know. It just makes me laugh, and I would never, ever, ever use that word in any kind of context. But for just the play on words, I was like, oh man, that. And everyone I've told always laughs. They're like, oh, that's pretty funny. I'm like, but am I just asking for trouble? You know? And then the thought of like having people demand that I can't say it, you can't say that, kind of makes me want to do it anyway. I don't think I will. Yeah, see? He just put a paragraph at the end saying, I have black friends, so it's fine. So, I don't know. I probably won't do it. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, because the guy's the hero. He's awesome. It's just his name. It's just describing him. And it describes his job. What's the problem? Like, where are you taking this? Oh, the Shia LaBeouf do it meme? Yeah. Oh. Do it! Okay, comics. You don't actually use the word, so anybody who complains is an F word and an R word. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Like I said, there's time, but we'll see. But until then, we'll have Spread Eagle, the 90s Bad Girl parody, and we'll have the assholes here. And I'm going to do a pinup. It's not even a parody. It's just me using the first characters I ever created. And they're god-awful. Like, they're god-awful designs I created for their costumes when I was, like, 13. And just putting them in there, just so I could be like, hey, here's a fake ad for my original characters that I will never use ever. But why not? And then, of course, Ginger, the whole plan is to have some kind of ad or something like that for your book, like an actual reel, like this book is actually going to come out. Even we could kind of look at what page count looks like at the time. Maybe if you even want to do like a 2-page preview or 3-page preview or something like that of your book. That would be fun. Oh, there's a while. There's a couple of months, so there's no rush, Ginger. Don't feel, don't feel pressured. There's Chuck. Chuck's back to inking tomorrow after he tried severing his finger off. He decided to pick a fight with an electronic machine, and, well, you should see the electronic machine, but it got in its licks. Hopefully you didn't nick any nerve endings and ruin your inking finger. Could you think you could learn to ink with your other hand if you had to? I mean, I hear it's completely possible. You just have to put in the time to, like, learn to make your non-dominant hand work as well as, the other one. Oh, you can draw left-handed, softer, and it takes longer. But hey, there you go. I've kind of tried just to fiddle around, see if I could, and it's always like, okay, well, that sucks. Let's move on from trying to do it left-handed. But yeah, I would certainly like, if I lost my right hand somehow, I mean, I'd have to retrain it to so I can, jerk off appropriately. I gotta retrain it somehow. So might as well learn to draw too. It's all about priorities, though, right? First things first. You used to draw with a pencil in your teeth as a bar trick? Did that get you laid? Did you pick up chicks with that trick? Because if it works, I might I'm like, wait, my buddy told me about this. He said it was a surefire thing. Meanwhile, you're like, Rob, that doesn't really work, dude. It was come on, man. Like, ladies, you want to see what I can do with my mouth? And they're like, hell yeah, baby. What can you do? You're like, watch this. I could draw Superman with my teeth. And they're like, oh, I mean, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I could write the alphabet with my tongue, too. Get the words "your name" tattooed on your back. You'll win every bet. I bet you I've got your name tattooed on my back. No, you don't. You're a liar. Problem for me is I wouldn't ever, and I mean ever, be taking my shirt off for anyone to see. I look like a fat version of Jabba the Hutt. Welcome back. I don't know. I think I've taken this thing about as far as I can go. I think. I was trying to throw some long inking lines, Chuck, and my dumbass can't do it by hand, so I'm using a brush marker and a French curve. It kind of works. You're the only one to kind of point that out, Chuck, that it's not composition, and it's not like I looked at a Mignola drawing, like an image, and this is specifically characters that he drew in these poses. But the art style, yes, I was going for a very specific heavy black, heavy shadow kind of thing. Yes, that is absolutely what I was kind of going for. I just had this idea, again, for this fake ad for the book, and I wanted it to artistically look a little different. So, yes, you are. I mean, I'm not saying anyone else probably couldn't have seen the same thing, I'm sure, but you're the first one to actually like mention it. No, we didn't. I was hadn't mentioned that. I think it's just I just screwed it up, and there's no way to. There's nothing to do. Guess I should sign it. In fact, somebody asked me if this pose of this guy pointing the gun was like based on a Jim Lee drawing. And I was like, no, I pulled that one out of my own head. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody could point to like a Jim Lee type drawing that was probably in the subconscious recesses of my brain, and it just sort of, but no, I didn't look at anything and go, I'm going to do, redraw that drawing just with my characters, which I have done. Like, I'm not acting like I haven't, but yeah, Mignola ripoff vibe for sure. Welcome back. So did you miss all the, I was talking about answering your question there, Chuck? Most of it. You asked if this was a Mignola homage. I was just saying that yes and no. No, in as much as I didn't look at any specific Mike Mignola drawing and try to reproduce those poses or anything. But yes, the heavy shadows and kind of the style, yes, I was kind of trying to do a thing like that. So yes, aping his style, but not any specific image. Yeah, someone's saying there's poses in How to Draw the Marvel Way that are so dug into my memory you have to fight to avoid drawing them. I get that. I looked through that book a million times as a kid. Always skipping right by the How to Draw Buildings in Perspective because I want to draw Captain America punching somebody. Yeah, draw those poses from different angles after you've mastered them from the angles in the book. That's an interesting exercise. That makes, I've never thought of that, but that makes perfect sense. Here's a pose, you know it. Now draw it from the side, right? Or something like that, or top down, keep the same pose, but that's a hell of an idea. OK Comics, early Mignola before he started drawing everyone looking like an unfinished sculpture. Dude, that's the best description I've ever heard of Mignola's kind of like later work. I like it, but I definitely like his other stuff better. I keep a Hellboy collection right next to me with my Wolverine Essentials. Or I did. Wait, what the fuck is this? Jesus, I forgot that I even had that. Where the hell is my Hellboy book? Well, I obviously put it somewhere else. I mean, I've got one, but it's not the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I know you've said that, Chuck, and I have those, and I've actually got them sitting out right here. It's not my favorite. I can see why people like it, but I like his, that X-Force issue he did, that Batman issue he did, the very beginning of Hellboy. That was my favorite era. But yeah, the unfinished sculptures, that is, yeah, the Wolverine Savage Land, yeah. Like, I like this stuff. Like, I think it all looks good. But yeah, unfinished sculptures. This is kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Such a stylistic look.
Power on.
It'd be interesting to see somebody else take his pencils and try and ink it like this. I like how he doesn't use a straight edge when he does his buildings. It looks like he builds an underlying perspective grid. There's some, you probably can't see it, maybe. Looks like there's some light lines, maybe drawn by ruler, but then he makes the final line. He just freehands it, and it keeps it this, like, it just gives it a more organic, lively look rather than just like a straight dead ruler. But yeah, these pages are, and it's interesting how he can see it with his own eye so clearly where the blacks are going to be. He just marks them out in X, but he doesn't need to fill it in pencil to see what the finished page is going to look like. And I find that I have to, like, if I did something like this, I'd kind of have to pencil in just, even just a light pencil shade just to kind of see how the balance of the blacks are going to look. But he just puts X's everywhere. He knows what he's doing. It's stuff just because I was looking through that other stuff and things I like to look at. I love these pages Joe Mad drew. He actually drew these pages for the next issue of Battle Chasers when he quit, and then he just let that other artist draw the entire book. Like, these are pages that are supposed to be in that newer issue of Battle Chasers, that first new one that he did, I think issue 11. He's got these entirely finished pages, and I think the inking looks so good. I think it's Tom McWeeny, I think. Just love the way this stuff looks. Excuse me. And he draws a pretty hot red Monica. Little heart tattoo on her ass. It's not trying to draw my eye in any way, shape, or form. Draw my eye. And then this great double page spread that was, at least at this point when they made this book, never inked. Chuck, as an inker, like, to me, I look at Joe Mad's pencils, and I don't know why, but they look like they'd be fun to ink. Some other pencilers, and what do I know? I don't know shit. That's why I'm asking the pro. Some pencilers' stuff doesn't look like it would be fun, but Joe Mad's stuff looks like it would be fun. Or what do you think? Or at least from your perspective, or your kind of your experiences, like Joe's stuff looks like it would be fun to do. Or do you find it such finished pencils, like maybe there's not enough room to kind of play around and have fun? I don't know. I'm curious. Not your favorite style, personally? I get you. Such slick stuff. You like his pencils, but it never looks right inked? Really? That's interesting. I would even take a book where it's just printed from his pencils and no color. I've seen enough of his stuff done from pencil straight to color, and I don't like it, but I love his black and white stuff with the right inker on them. I really like this shot of the guy coming in the cave and like his shadow cast on the wall there. That's a neat kind of visual thing going on. Yeah, you like that straight from pencil, black and white. Yeah, his stuff looks amazing. Excuse me. Saboteur. So this is the collected Battle Chasers. And at the end of the book, because it printed everything that he's done, there's some pages that he was working on for issue 10 that he never did. And he had some actual finished inked pages that was supposed to be in issue 10. But then when, 25 years later, when he decided to make the book, he scrapped the pages that he drew and gave it all over to that other artist who drew the entire thing. And so there's a couple of inked pages and then some penciled spread. Yeah, all in all, it's more cartoony than most artwork you prefer. Yeah, OK Comics, The Avenging Spider-Man. It was just digital color over his pencils. Yeah, I don't like. I personally prefer Joe Mad's work inked in every level. Like, it always looks best inked to me. But yeah, Saboteur. Yeah, this collection, it's just got everything. It's the entire book. Every book he did, including a prologue book that I didn't even know existed, that sets up the stuff that happens in issue 1. So when I got this, there was this prologue story that set up how the kid is off running, and then we get into the book that we got to see, and it's every issue. And then the Adam Warren backup stories. This is what made me a fan of Adam Warren. I hadn't really seen his stuff, but I liked this stuff. I thought it worked really well. He's really good. And then there was some, I think they reprinted covers. Yeah. Yeah, if you like Battle Chasers, this like literally had everything in it, including like we were saying the unprinted pages, and then some sketchbook stuff, a bunch of his penciled stuff. Logo kind of attempts to figure out different logos. Just a black and white advertisement. Yeah, see, I like seeing this. Oh, that's Joe Mad. It says inked by Alex Garner. There you go. I don't know how I can say this, but knowing-ish sort of what Alex Garner's inks look like over J. Scott Campbell on Danger Girl, and I look at this and I can kind of see it kind of has like an Alex Garner finish. Like I don't know if I could have pulled that out without knowing that's him. But yeah, I like seeing all this black and white stuff. There's a Travis Charest black and white. Travis Charest and Richard Friend, they were a great combo. I mean, it's definitely Travis Charest art, but they look kind of off model, even though, I mean, it's Red Monica. It's a hot girl, and then there's the little kid, but I don't know. Something about it just kind of, I'm like, that's supposed to be Battle Chasers? Oh, yeah. The texture on the Calibrado, the gradients on the inking, Richard Friend really nailed that one. Uh-oh. Chuck's giving me the eye roll. It's a tribute to Michael Turner. Oh yeah, and then here's some covers. David Finch pencils, straight to color. Charest would never do Monica's curves. I mean, he didn't. There's a colored version. I mean, she's got a reasonably sized chest, but when you compare it to the one on the next page by Mad, where they're like triple E's, I mean, it's not quite Monica, but it still looks good, so. Who drew this? That doesn't look like Joe Mad. Anybody identify the artist on that? I mean, maybe it's Joe Mad. It doesn't say anywhere. Huh. No idea. J. Scott Campbell Battle Chasers. That's awesome. Yeah, Red Monica. Heck yeah. Anyway. I think I'm going to be done for the evening. Finish this thing as far as I'm going to take it, so I am done for the night. Where the hell did I put my eraser? Son of a bitch. I lost it. Guess that means I just have to dig out a new one. Yeah, thanks everybody for stopping in. It's fun as always. Appreciate it. for a new kneaded eraser. Set it down and I don't know where it went. Yeah, anybody that's still in the chat, thank you everybody. Thanks someone saying, appreciate it. I know, I should do it. Big Digger Nick. I got to put that ad in there, maybe. We'll see. I'll see if I lose my nerve. All right, guys, I'll catch you later. Fucking want you.